Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well for today's second upload. Before we get into this upload, a couple links. As you know, I rely on my Patreon, my PayPal, and my merch store to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Those links are in the description below. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1, 2, and 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeffrey Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes. The links to those books are also in the description as well. Now, everyone, I have taken enough of your time. Let's get on with today's upload. Shall we? Alright guys, so a couple days ago I gave you the update on the Brenda Hamilton case. There was an official cause of death, and there was probably just a guesstimate at least $1 million spent on this case for a conclusion. They put all the DNA testing, 2 different locations, and at the end of it all, it was, this is my best guess of what happened. That's exactly what. And it was a pack of dogs 50 pounds or more. And we all know that's absolute BS, because in that video I saw a lot of people from her area that agreed with me. So you're spending millions, if not hundreds of thousands, okay? But I'm guessing on this, they did spend a lot, because there was a lot of outcry in that community, and they wanted to know what caused the death of Brenda Hamilton. So, like I said, the official conclusion off the top of Anne Marie Clark, I believe her name was, is that it was dogs, but we don't know what dogs. Absolute garbage. So I've got a couple other ones that are absolute garbage that I covered as well. This one goes all the way back to the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. Texas officials disagree on whether wild animal killed man, December 6th, 2020. Lipin, Texas. Texas wildlife officials on Sunday said there was no evidence that a mountain lion or any wild animal killed a 28-year-old man, disputing a medical examiner's preliminary finding in the case. It appears we have 2 conflicting reports from 2 agencies that are experts in their fields. The Hood County Sheriff's Office said in a statement Sunday posted on Facebook. The Sheriff's Office said it will wait for a final autopsy report, but that for now it's standing by the preliminary finding from a Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office, which ruled out a suicide or homicide. The Sheriff's Office had said earlier that the autopsy's preliminary findings said Christopher Allen Whiteley died from an animal attack, possible mountain lion. Sheriff's Office said its investigation is continuing and that investigators are gathering pictures and statements from locals who have seen and captured on film images of mountain lions. The Sheriff's Office said that deputies found Whiteley's body on Thursday, a day after he went missing, near Lipin, located 50 miles southwest of Fort Worth. Texas Parks and Wildlife Department said on Sunday afternoon statement that its experts had inspected the scene, and did not find any evidence of a mountain lion attack at the location. None of the evidence reviewed by Texas Park and Wildlife Department indicates a predatory attack by a mountain lion or other wild animals. TPWD spokeswoman Megan Radke said in an email. TPWD said that the U.S. Department of Agriculture Wildlife Service biologist also came to the same conclusion as its staff. TPWD notes that fatal mountain attacks on people are extremely rare. Pause. Why didn't they put mountain lion? The media is that intelligent. It should have been TPW notes that fatal mountain lions or mountain lion attacks. But they didn't even put the word in. Back to the statement. And that over the past 100 years, there have been fewer than 30 people killed by mountain lions across the United States. TPWD said it has no records of a confirmed fatal attack on a person by a mountain lion in Texas, and no confirmed records of a mountain lion from Hood County. Though confirmed mountain lion sightings are rare in North Texas, TPWD on Tuesday said its biologist had verified a sighting on private property in a suburb of Dallas of Rowlett, which is more than 100 miles from where Whiteley was killed. The state wildlife officials said Sunday that the confirmed sighting in Rowlett is considered unrelated to Whiteley's death. So why the hell did they put it in there? Well, it's called filler. You fill your story up with BS to confuse the public. And it's sad. This is the last update that is available on this gentleman's terrible death. Autopsy: Texas man died of neck injuries in animal attack, January 26th, 2021. Lipe, Texas. A final autopsy for the Texas man whose body was found last month in the woods determined that he had died from neck injuries due to an animal attack, but wildlife experts and sheriff officials disagree whether that animal was a mountain lion. The Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office ruled that 28-year-old Christopher Allen Whiteley's cause of death last month was from neck injuries due to an animal attack, the Hood County Sheriff's Office said Tuesday. The manner of death was ruled an accident. The Sheriff's Office said there is still a disagreement with the Texas Park and Wildlife Department on whether Whiteley was killed by a mountain lion. The Texas Park and Wildlife Department on Tuesday said that none of the evidence they've reviewed indicates an attack by a mountain lion or any other wild animal. The department said wildlife officials could not rule out that an animal killed Whiteley, but said the evidence indicates it wasn't a wild animal like a mountain lion or coyote. Lieutenant Johnny Rose of the Hood County Sheriff's Office said they believe Whiteley was killed by a mountain lion. He said the autopsy does not specify what kind of animal killed Whiteley. Sheriff's Office, which says there were no signs of foul play in the death, said it would be closing the case as an animal attack. Whiteley's body was found in the woods near Lippin, Texas, located 50 miles southwest of Fort Worth. Texas wildlife officials said that fatal mountain lion attacks on people are extremely rare, as are any confirmed sighting of the animal in North Texas. Last month, though, wildlife officials said a deer hunter killed a mountain lion in Hunt County, located east of Dallas. Now, when they found this poor guy, he was in the woods in a rather rural area, not too wooded, not too populated. And there was a hole about the circumference of a nickel in his upper sternum area. Not in his neck, but like that little, I don't know what it's called. I'm not familiar with the medical terms of the body. But right under a man's Adam apple, that little soft part. And I'm thinking that, well, I already told you what I thought. I thought it was a Dogman right from the very start. And it killed him and moved on. Very quick death. It was a senseless death. All of these are. And it makes no sense. And what makes the least sense to me is that the media goes along and just feeds us fodder. But actually it doesn't, because 80% of the media that we are given is handed over by either contracting companies, big bank, big pharma, and oil. So it's all about greed, guys. It's all about greed. Now, the next unexplained animal, air quotes, death and attack happened on the 18th of November. And the last mention of his brutal attack was in December 3rd of 2020. A nightmare Jackson County man killed in a dog attack was a beloved grandfather. Donald Ray Allen Sr. had no idea when he set out on foot from his friend's house in rural Jackson County that his life was about to come to an unbelievably tragic and horrifying end. Gifted with his hands, he worked in construction his whole life. Allen, 65, helped some people with their roof earlier in the day, his family members stated. He met up with a friend at a store and caught a ride to their house for a social visit. But at some point in the night, he decided to leave with no car, phone, or wallet with him. He walked in the darkness along Kirkland Road, an isolated dirt road surrounded by farmland and woods in a small community of Bascom. He was miles from the safety of his home. Early the morning of November 18th, as he made his way down that road, Allen was attacked by dogs and mauled to death. His demise sent shockwaves through the community and left his large family mourning and searching for answers. Pause really quick. Dark Waters called the sheriff's office and actually confronted the sheriff's office about this case. I called the sheriff's office for the Whiteley case and recorded it and put it on my channel, that conversation. I believe both of us did that. Yeah, Dark Waters did as well. For this case. Because we both feel the same about this. These deaths are tragic and horrible and covered up for financial gain from the government. On pause. Early in the morning of November 18th, he made his way down the road. Allen was attacked by dogs and mauled to death. His demise sent shockwaves through the community and left his large family in mourning and searching for answers. It happened mere weeks after the Allen family suffered another shocking tragedy. One of Allen's children, Rumika Allen, 46, of Baton Rouge, was killed October 25th in a drive-by shooting. Police in Louisiana have no suspect or motive in the case. It's been a nightmare, said one of his sons, Chase Allen of Tallahassee. I can't even describe in words. It's unbelievable. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office got a call a little before 8 a.m. that day of a man lying just off a dirt road. Investigators said the investigation and autopsy indicated he was attacked and killed by a pack of stray dogs roaming the area. During a news conference November 19th, Sheriff Lou Roberts said domesticated dogs, not coyotes or other wild animals, were responsible for the attack. Multiple traps have been placed in the area, and the Houston County, Alabama Sheriff's Office is flying drones at night to try to find the dogs. "We certainly hate this for the gentleman and his family," Robert said, "but we are going to work diligently to try to resolve the dog or dogs responsible for it. Fatal dog attacks are rare in the United States. Estimates suggest between 20 and 50 people are killed each year when packs of dogs attack in rural areas. It typically involves a lone victim and animals on the hunt," said Richard Plesky, a Los Angeles-based expert on animal behavior and dog bites. "I suspect the dogs probably were hungry and treated the victim as prey and took advantage of this man who could not fight back and was mauled to death," Plesky states. "Not sure how to explain it. Allen, known as Ducky to his friends and family, divided his time between Boscombe, a sparsely populated area of northeast Jackson County, where cotton fields stretch across the landscape, and his hometown of Denham Springs, Louisiana, a small town outside of Baton Rouge. He was quite a character, very funny, great sense of humor," Chase Allen said. "He's a big talker. Could talk to anyone for hours about anything on his mind. He's very good about expressing it. More than anything, he cherished his family. He had 7 children, 2 of whom preceded him in death, 11 grandkids, and 9 great-grandkids. He loved his children with all his heart. He would have done anything for them, protect them, and to help us if we ever needed him. He was a beloved grandfather. His grandchildren were crazy about him, all of them. In Boscombe, he resided next door to another son, Donald Ray Allen Jr., his wife, and their 2 young daughters, who called him Pop Pop. He was a kind-hearted and always willing to help." "I'm going to miss him," Donald Allen Jr. said. "That's one of my best friends right there. I know he wants us to keep a smile on our face and keep moving on and just take care of ourselves. It's going to be rough." Belay heard about the dog attack on the radio, but did not know it was her father-in-law until a deputy called her. Younger family members, including her daughters, 2 and 4, haven't been told what had happened. "We haven't had to explain it to them yet," she said. "I'm not sure how to explain it, so we're just going to have to kind of come up together and try to explain it to them to where they understand. We are overwhelmed by the support shown so far, and can't thank people enough for their help. An extremely dangerous situation. The family is still trying to piece together his last hours. They know he arrived at a friend's house at around 10 p.m. the night before he was killed, knocked on the door and asked for a ride," Chase Allen said. "But he was told they couldn't do it, perhaps because there was no car available, so my dad decided to walk. And they offered to give him a jacket because he was cold." Allen was attacked across from the residence with a fenced-in cattle and other farm animals. Allen's family members have heard stories about aggressive dogs chasing cars down the road, but they don't know whether those animals were responsible. Donald Allen Jr., who lives 6 to 7 miles from where his dad was killed, said aggressive dogs have not been the problem in his neighborhood. The next statement is very powerful to me. It almost kind of points or makes it known that his son is not blind to what is really out there. This family's from Louisiana, after all, and we all know about the Rougarou, the Dogman. They're very, very rich in their everyday lifestyle. I mean, I have a friend who lives in Cutoff, and we can chew it up about anything, and then I can bring that up, and he has told me multiple people have had encounters with these things out there. So just check this out. And it's so powerful because I'll explain after. But he believes there is something off in the distance somewhere, perhaps a byproduct of Hurricane Michael. Hurricane Michael only happened a month prior to this attack. And what that did is that pushed these creatures south. Not north, but south. If you looked at how the storm was pushed and how they had to move away from it. Very powerful. There have been dogs back there because I can stand outside and hear them in the middle of the night, he said. What kind of dogs? I don't know. But my guess is that when the hurricane came through, these dogs got loose, started breeding a whole bunch of things back there. Pulaski, who has a doctorate in animal behavior, said some fatal dog attacks involve animals that prowl together at night but go back to their homes during the day. Others involve dogs that were abandoned and became feral in the wild. Dog pats running loose and unsupervised in rural areas is very common, he said, and when you get a single individual who encounters these dogs by happenstance, it's an extremely dangerous situation. Investigators sent evidence to experts in the University of Florida for DNA analysis in hopes of identifying the breed that mauled Allen. Trail cameras placed near Kirkland and Concord roads caught images of dogs matching the descriptions of those seen in the area before the attack. Okay, there was dogs seen in the area. Well, dogs are seen, but this could have been prevented. Roberts, during a news conference, urged residents to report any aggressive dog to law enforcement. The sheriff's office did not return phone calls or emails about the case. Why? They didn't with DW either. And I got pushed off on my call to the guy's voicemail. It was fun. The Allen family hopes the investigation will reveal whether the dogs belong to someone or there were any warning signs or reports that officials might have ignored. We really just want these dogs to be put down, Chase Allen said. We want them not to be a harm to society, a risk to anyone else. Because our dad is gone, we'll never get him back. But it could have been prevented, and I believe it could be prevented from happening again. So, you've got this pack of feral dog running around this small, very small community. And they attacked this man. And then they just disappeared and never attacked again. It's kind of weird, right? Just very strange to me. Also, there was no autopsy report released, no mention of autopsy. And that was the last article found about this man. And it's sad. And then this brings us to the recent deaths. There was a death, three deaths by bear. One is just, the news article is, the death is horrifying. The news article is hilarious because apparently the bear snuck up on the guy and pushed him off of a 300-foot embankment and killed him. His wife had walked right by the attack site and didn't notice it. I was looking around, not down. Your eyes go all around when you're looking for something or someone. And then the crazy case that had a similar puncture wound to the Lipin, Texas one. A singular hole in the upper chest, lower neck region. 39-year-old woman attacked and killed by a bear while she was walking her dogs has been identified. Lainey Malvota, who lived in Durango, died of a penetrating wound to the neck. According to La Plata County Coroner Jan Smith, the manner of death has been ruled an accident. Malvota was walking her dogs Friday night near her home when she was attacked. Colorado Parks and Wildlife officials euthanized a female bear and her 2 yearlings after tracking them with dogs. The victim's body was found at 9 p.m. Friday by her boyfriend, who started searching for her when he got home from work, according to Colorado Parks and Wildlife news release. He found the two dogs safe at home and called 911 after finding Malvota's body off of US 550 near Trimble, north of Durango. On Sunday night, CPW determined that there were human remains inside the stomach of the mother bear and one cub. All three bears appeared to be healthy, no sign of disease or abnormalities, according to CPW. The sow weighed 204 pounds. The cubs were 66 and 58. Further necropsy tests are ongoing. Colorado is estimated between 17,000 and 20,000 black bear, with growing populations in many areas across the state. Over the last 2 years, CPW received 879 bear conflict reports involving bears forcibly breaking into homes, dwellings, and garages. Human deaths caused by bears in Colorado are rare. Malvota worked as a wine sales rep for the Republic Northern Distributing Company, according to the Durango Herald. She was an experienced backpacker enthusiast and took great joy outdoors, her family said in a statement. So what's crazy about that is they end that case. Boom, it's ruled an accident. But it has almost the same identical puncture wound that Mr. Whiteley in Lipton, Texas had. Also, the bears, I believe this is what happened. This is my theory. And just like in the Brenda Hamilton case, that's what they had. That's what they fed us. After all of the hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on testing and DNA this and that and this and that, they just gave us a theory. But this is mine for this woman. She got home, or worked from home, walked her dogs, right? Bam, was savagely attacked. Dogman killed her. That's my belief. The dogs, being little, took off and made it way back to their home, safe and sound. Shortly after the attack, the bears, the Dogman split. The bears came along. They were healthy. There was nothing wrong with them. So they came and, it's someone dead. It's a dead animal. It's fresh. It's a fresh kill. So why not take advantage? And they were gone. If this mother bear had attacked this woman, she would have been tore the frick up, especially with her yearlings around. Not just a puncture wound to the neck. Let's get it right. Strange days, my friends. Strange days. And then last but not least, the tragedy in Cott County and the Jimtown Road incident, where they arrested a man for marijuana, tried to pin it on him, but they really can't. So when they find out, they realize, hey, holy shit, we got something out here that has killed 2 people now. The first case they didn't even mention Mr. Aarons. And when Amber was killed, they had to bring it to public attention, because it was not just the paramedics that stumbled on it. It was a citizen. So they realize, hey, something's out here killing. Oh, wait, we got a criminal out here. We got not the greatest guy in the world. He's got some issues. And hey, we can get him on marijuana charges. How about that? He's got a couple bud, maybe a little bag of bud and some joints rolled up. Let's throw him in the clink. All right, and he bonds himself out. Then they realize they can't pin it on him. So what do they do after that? They do a smear campaign. They talk about the methamphetamine that was found in Mr. Aaron's system during the autopsy. Yet he was tore the frick up, man. I mean, this is not a dog attack. This guy was missing arms, lacerations across his body. He was just... And then Amber is found. Same location. Torn up, too. Arms just ripped off. Part of her leg ripped off. Just a shit show. Just terrible, terrible attack. Which, you know, could have been prevented. The last one, at least. If they had released that news that someone was attacked on Jimtown Road. So there's been no news since they decided to slander the two people that were killed. And that's how they're going to end that one. And it's crazy. I hope that nothing happens there again, to be honest with you. But if it does, then what's doing it? I know. You guys know. It's not just dogs. It's not dogs. It's not dogs. There were dogs found on a scene, licking the wounds, not biting the wounds, licking. And they weren't aggressive to the guy who found Amber. Very sad, tragic. Remember, guys, the media, no matter what you read or hear, remember that 80% of news media is controlled by big bank, big pharma, oil tycoons, and the military contracting services. That's who controls 80% of our news. It's a proven statistic. 100% true. All right, guys. I want to thank everybody for tuning in a second time. I've got a killer, amazing upload for you guys tomorrow. It's not just demons or I don't know what to say on this. Not just demons. Anyway, evolution can cause chimera. My brain got kind of frizzled on that one. It's not just scientists that can do these chimera experiences. My brain is now officially closed and shut off for the day. Experiments. It's not just scientists that are doing this. Nature. And there's scientific proof, and I have some to share with you tomorrow. And it's friggin' amazing. It truly is. So with that, I'm going to bid you farewell. Sorry about the mind fart at the end of the video. I get really worked up in these ones. My brain just goes 100 miles a minute at that point. So with that, be kind to each other. Be safe. And if you're anywhere where we're having this heat wave, because we are having a heat wave on the upper East Coast now, stay hydrated, stay inside, and just be safe and kind to each other. And with that, farewell and see ya!